Yes, we can start. I'm Dr. Aklesh Tandekar. Okay, so let's start with cases. Viva. I hope this platform will help you to go through a lot of questions that may be asked in your EDIC exam. I would like you all to go through these questions and please let me know what are your answers, and if it is possible, I'll try and give some explanation to that also. So this is one more case scenario. I hope the audience is same as we had yesterday, or there would be few new ones who must have joined. So welcome you all. Can we start with this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can somebody read this case? And please let me know.
It's a 14-year-old male.
14-year-old.
It's okay.
Please go ahead. Mr. Sahil, go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
So it's a 14-year-old. Thank you. The 14-year-old male who had symptoms of a headache with nausea and generalized weakness for the last few days.
Oh, no. You are able to see something else, I guess. That was yesterday's slide, no? You're not able to see the Viva slide?
So we can only see slide number 9.
Slide number 9. Let me share a Viva screen, man. Yeah, please somebody read and let me know.
The nurse notes a marked difference between the blood pressure recorded by our afterline in one arm and non-invasive pressure recorded from the other arm. What may be the causes? What may be causing this difference? So, okay.
You couldn't see the picture, I guess. Yeah, so what could be the difference?
It can be because of damping or
Mm-hmm.
over damping,
Okay.
and also can be because of like thrombosis of the artery or perforation of aorta
Okay.
Aortic,
or
aortic
subclavians,
dissection.
Okay.
one of the
Question
possibilities.
sir. We
Yes.
don't see the picture, doc.
Okay. Let me see if it is possible to show you. Okay. So you will have to find out what are the factors which may be contributed to the difference between the blood pressure that are recorded in two limbs. So if it is non-invasive blood pressure, you will have cuff which is applied, which may be of a wrong size, because the blood pressure measured non-invasively is based on oscillometric principle. So if there is any arrhythmia, so you may have difference of the blood pressure readings. And if the patient is moving too much, in that scenario also you may have a difference between the blood pressures of two lines. And if the patient has invasive measurement, there can be error due to the transducer, which may not be zeroed properly. Or if it is zeroed, the level is not adjusted properly. Or if the transducer system is incorrectly set up. And there are the patient factors like the artery may be in spasm, patient may be having a peripheral vascular disease, or patient may have subclavian artery stenosis and some aortic pathology like aneurysm. That may be the reason why you may have difference of blood pressure measured in the two extremities. This is another question. Can somebody take this question?
A large bore catheter for renal replacement therapy has been accidentally inserted into carotid artery of a man with multi-organ failure, including coagulopathy due to systemic sepsis. The location of the catheter was only discovered after it had been sutured in place. List the potential complication and outline how you are going to deal with this problem. So, complications: vascular thrombosis of the vessel, vascular injury leading to dissection, cardiac tamponade. That's the other known complication. Then compromised blood supply to the brain, causing ischemic stroke. If there is a clot formation and that embolizes, that can cause problems with distal ischemia to the area where it goes, then uh, how to manage this problem?
Oh, yes.
So, so well, we have to assess the location of the exact catheter by doing the X-ray, and we have to see what is our coagulation profile and platelets. Try to correct that one and take the help from the vascular surgeon to take it out, preferably in the theater, to avoid vascular complications or critical ischemia to the brain in case if the patient bleeds out.
Oh yes,
Yes,
as a,
absolutely. You're right. You know, and you would not make hurry in removing the catheter. Instead, you will likely to keep the catheter over there and take the help of a vascular surgeon, and then probably you may remove it, because if there is catastrophic bleeding, then it will be really difficult to control the bleeding. So as we see the potential complications related to this, could be the injury to the nerve, there could be, pleural collection, esophageal injury, or there may be injury to the trachea resulting from the compression effect of that hematoma. There could be a risk of embolism and stroke, as we all said correctly. So, moving on to the next slide, please. So, can you describe the function of each chamber with this underwater seal mechanism three bottle system? A, B, C. So, can somebody please let me know? So, what are the functions of each bottle? I can see Sahil, and I can also see Hayat. Please take initiatives and answer.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah,
Chamber
you
A,
can try.
chamber A is traps fluid from the chest, effusions blood. Then chamber B traps the air. Chamber C is the underwater seal to prevent, water
Uh-huh.
from getting, okay, to prevent air from getting into the system.
Okay, as you said rightly. So basically, the bottle A functions as a collection chamber, and the bottle B functions as underwater seal, and the bottle C uh, controls the suction. Okay, which ensures the accurate and consistent level of the suction being delivered to the pleural cavity. Okay, the suction should not be too much. So, how much is the suction pressure that is kept? Mhm.
10 to
20
20.
centimeters, 20 centimeters of water.
Okay, 15 to 20 centimeters. If you keep too much of pressure, what will happen?
Chances of negative pressure palm edema or
Yes, negative pressure pulmonary edema, the commonest complication. So, moving on to the next question. So, following insertion of pulmonary artery catheter, list three tests which suggest appropriate zone 3 positioning. So, can somebody take this? Nazam.
Number one is X-ray chest to confirm the position. Number two is waveform of the pulmonary artery catheter. And number three is reading of the wedge pressure or pulmonary artery occlusion pressure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, in X-ray, how would you confirm? So basically,
So,
in order to confirm the presence of pulmonary artery in zone 3, so the pulmonary artery wedge pressure should be less than pulmonary artery diastolic pressure. This is very important. And pulmonary artery wedge pressure may be altered by less than 50% when you apply the PEEP. And pulmonary artery pressure should increase by less than 50% whenever the alveolar pressure changes. Okay, especially when the patient is breathing spontaneously. And the oxygen saturation in the waist position is greater than the unwedged position. On the X-ray, tip of the catheter should be below the level of left atrium. And when you collect the sample, okay, when you collect the sample in the wedged position, the color of the blood should be pink, and the PO2 that we measure should be higher than that is the blood collected from the other zones. So these are few important points which tells you the appropriate positioning of the pulmonary artery.